What's this? The gate's wide open.
Watered, fed, saddled, first thing. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Greetings. What's your business here?
The blessing of our Lord Jesus Christ, sir. I expect your Peter Pisek. I am Jan Žižka of Trocnov. I have an important message for your guest, Hinek of Kunstad. Actually, for you two.
A message for the Dry Devil?
Well now, Captain Žižka. And young Henry.
Margrave Jobst.
Sir.
I'm afraid your friend Hinek is no longer here. But I'd love to know what brought you two together. But also, what the hell happened to you?
Well, sir...
Unfortunately, I'm otherwise occupied at the moment. Get some rest. You're clearly in dire need of it. We'll talk tomorrow. Sir Peter, please, take care of our guests.
Yes, sir.
Let's go!
He's all we needed.
You must be tired and hungry after your journey. Follow me.
It's strange, crooked, like a letter from a fancy book.
This. I fell off the battlements at Laxenburg Castle.
Lord above! From the walls! And were you conquering or defending that castle, sir?
Well, depends on how you look at it. We were storming a wine cellar, you see.
Ah, I do see. Only maybe you shouldn't go around telling people that, sir. It doesn't sound too heroic.
So what? Heroes like to have a drink too, now and again. I've got loads of scars from real battles anyway. Like you.
How are things, Captain?
What do you think? I've seen better days. And you, youngster?
Yeah, not so great. I'm feeling pretty battered.
Just wait until you've been through as much as I have.
Nah, don't say that. You still have your strength. A real man of iron.
A damned rusty one, I'd say. But enough chat. I see Jobst has returned to the fortress.
That's why I'm here. They're expecting us. I wanted to take Catherine along too, but she said she'd rather get the horses ready.
She's doing the right thing, and you better run ahead and greet the Margrave. I'll join you shortly.
Are you expecting trouble?
I always expect trouble. Jobst has turned coats more times than I can count. And the way things are these days, I'd rather have horses standing by, even on a visit to my parents.
What about that dry devil of yours? Did you find out where he went?
No, nobody asked him where he was going, but it seems they're hoping it's as far away as possible. I'm not surprised. If I know him, he wasn't the ideal guest.
At least Jobst might know where he is.
He might. To be honest, that's the only reason for talking to him.
I'll be going then.
Henry. Where's Captain Zizka?
He got held up.
I received a report that von Bergov's banner is flying in the camp of my dear cousin Sigismund, so I assume the negotiations at Trotsky didn't go too smoothly.
No, sir. I don't have good news for you, I'm afraid.
Well, good or bad, I'm sure you have plenty to report. So what happened with von Bergov at Trotsky?
Bergov had no interest in our message. By the time we finally arrived at Trotsky, he'd already long since made a deal with Sigismund. But of course, he didn't tell Sir Hans and me anything. And on top of that, he used us to do his dirty work. Everything went to hell in the end, and we ended up in a dungeon. Or at least I did. They took Lord Capon away. In fact, that's why we're here. We were following von Bergov's trail.
So I've heard. But I'd be interested to know the details. It's been some time since our meeting in Ratai, and now you appear here by the side of a quite unexpected guest.
Well, it wasn't the best circumstances to meet Zizka in. They sent him to the Trotsky region to cause problems, and our paths happened to cross. We crossed swords. I can only thank God we didn't kill each other.
And who was giving Zizka orders? Do you know?
I think it's some Jan Sokol of Lamberg?
That would make sense. He was always quite pig-headed.
Forgive me, my lord, but how is it possible you don't know? Aren't you all on the same side?
Bear in mind that my dear cousin, His Majesty King Wenceslas, has many supporters, and each of them has their own ideas about how to defend him.
That might not end well. My ma used to say when two different people do the same thing, it's not the same thing.
Your mother was clearly a wise woman. Nonetheless, I've heard you've had another proverb in Bohemia. Too many dogs means death for the hare.
Well, if the same applies to the ginger fox, I'm all for it.
Time will tell. Let's move on. I heard something about a pillory and poaching. What in God's name did you and Sir Hans get up to?
Things went wrong right from the beginning. We were ambushed, and we lost the letter. Lord Capon and I were lucky to get out of it alive. But no one at Trotsky believed that we were messengers.
Von Berghoff refused to aid a nobleman in need. That seems pretty low for a man of his stature.
Well, to be honest, Lord Capon didn't really look much like a nobleman. We were ambushed while bathing in a pond, and then we fled through the woods. So we really looked like a pair of beggars.
Ah, that must have been a peculiar feeling for Lord Capon.
Not only for him, sir. I may be just a bastard, but that doesn't mean I'm used to begging at castle gates dressed in rags.
Believe me, I didn't intend in the least to make such an insinuation. In any case, are you sure there's nothing else you want to tell me?
Well, you should probably know that Istvan Toth was working for von Berghoff.
Who's he?
One of Sigismund's cronies. He was causing havoc around Ratai.
Ah, yes. Hanush and Radzig mentioned some such person. They even foolishly let him go.
They had to. They gave him their word.
Yes. Well, it's actually quite heartening that some people still have such naive ideas about the world.
Well, no one let him go this time. He's dead.
Very good. From what I've heard, he was a bandit and a cutthroat. There should be no dealings with his ilk.
Isn't Zizka a bandit too, though?
Zizka is loyal to Wenceslas, so he's no bandit or cutthroat, but a faithful servant of our king, carrying out resistance against his enemies. But let's move on. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me?
That's all that happened, sir.
Truly. My court messenger and bearer of tidings, both good and bad, John of Liechtenstein, has mysteriously gone silent. So every piece of information I get now is precious. By the way, you said you were in von Berghoff's dungeon, and I can imagine how they treated you there. Tell me, did you reveal anything?
Well, unfortunately, they got, certain information out of me.
What information?
About Liechtenstein. That he's in Kuttenberg. And what he's doing there. I'm really sorry, sir, but... well, they tortured us.
That is truly unfortunate. But you've nothing to be ashamed of. I think it's too much to expect anyone to hold their tongue under torture.
But Lord Liechtenstein... what if they killed him because of us?
John went straight into the lion's den. He knew the risks. Thank you for the news. You're free to go if you want. But I would be glad if you stayed at the fortress. As soon as it's possible, you can join a legation heading for RatEmperor. I'm sure you already want to go home.
Sir, that's a generous offer, and I appreciate it. But it's not what I want.
If you wish to stay and help here, I'll be glad, of course. I need someone to escort my envoys, and you've proven yourself more than capable.
It's Lord Capon, Your Grace. I came to find out where he is, and rescue him.
A noble thought. But you mustn't worry about Lord Capon. I'm sure von Berghoff has him trapped in a gilded cage.
But I made a promise, sir.
I understand, but honestly, Lord Capon is now safer than you or I. The most sensible course now is to wait for the ransom demand.
Margrave.
Ah, Captain Zizka. Henry and I were just discussing Lord Capon.
Yeah, the Margrave thinks he's in no danger, and we should wait for a ransom demand.
As one does.
I wanted to talk to you about something else. I suppose you're wondering why your friend Hinnek, also known as the Dried Devil, isn't here?
Oh, there's plenty of gossip going on around the fortress. You and Pisek refused to grant him asylum.
Asylum is for those in distress, Captain. Hinnek came to burn and pillage. I have quite different plans.
And what might those be, Margrave? Sitting and talking while King Wenceslas rots in a dungeon. What would I expect? Not so long ago, you were conspiring with Sigismund against Prokop, your own brother.
It would be futile trying to explain to you the intricacies of the Luxembourg's dynastic politics. Let me just explain that that was what was called for in the situation. But I assure you that I am now acting in the best interests of this country and of King Wenceslas.
You're acting first and foremost in your own interests. Everyone knows that.
Strong words coming from a man who earns his bread by killing merchants on the road. No offense intended. I applaud your art. The pen is mightier than the sword, but there are times when it's vice versa. Enter!
All ready to leave now, sir?
Good. It's high time. I expect the captain was about to leave anyway. Are you not?
With pleasure.
And you, Henry?
Me? Well, sir, I made a promise.
I understand. I won't attempt to keep you here by force. But bear in mind, I have concluded a very fragile truce with Sigismund, which gives us time to get ready. And if anyone should disrupt my plans with headstrong acts of violence, there will be consequences. Grave consequences. I consider this matter closed. Farewell and good luck.
I get the feeling Jobst didn't make a great impression on you. Are we leaving?
Yeah. And Henry's going with us.
Wait, you'll help me find Capon?
Sure. But we'll need people for that. And information. Catherine, I've got a job for you.
Yes?
Go to Kuttenberg. Find out what happened to Liechtenstein. If anyone knows what's going on in his godforsaken country, it'll be him. In the meantime, we'll go and find Dry Devil and his band.
Good luck. I'd go all the way to Rome to spy if it kept me away from the devil.
Let's go.